Cheap homesteading. I'm in the chicken coop today, and we're going to install the new Chicken Guard automatic door. It's basically a pre-programmable chicken door that opens and closes on its own, so you won't have to come out in the morning and night to open the door and let the chickens out, which is a real bonus because my goal is to actually make it that I only have to come out in the evenings to collect the eggs, and I won't have to open and close the door in the morning. Because you know what, the more animals you get around the homestead, you really need to automate and make things a lot easier, so it frees up some of your time so you can do a lot of other things. I reached out to the Chicken Guard and they sent me a automatic door. They make automatic coop doors that open and close. You pre-program them, or they have a light sensor in it that'll actually know when it's dusk and dawn, and it'll open and close accordingly. So what we're going to do today is install it. When I made my original sliding door, I made it pretty big. So the bonus of that is I can get a piece of plywood, mount my door, my rails and everything, and then just slide it in and then screw it down and fasten it, and the door install is complete. This job shouldn't take very long. So I'm going to take this piece. We're just going to pre-assemble it outside and slide it in. I got an old piece of plywood. That's what we're going to use. I'm going to mark out where the old door is. Okay, so we'll have the door and the rails on the back here. You're gonna, well, sorry with the light, but it says A1. You look for A2. A2, and then you just slide them together. Okay, so you get the short screws, you slide them in and screw them together. One. Okay, so this one says B and B1, slide together. You lay out your rails in your door, and you want to make sure that they're not too tight. You don't want to push them like this and screw it down. You want to have a slight air gap between the door and the rail, just so when it's lifting and lower, it can't bind. Okay, so the screws are going to be too long. I'm going to have to grind them off on the other side. But it says not to use a cordless drill or anything to put them in. Just do them by hand, which kind of makes sense. You don't want to break your rails. That's actually a pretty ingenious idea, the way the locking mechanism works on this thing. After you get it mounted permanently, you pull up, it unlatches, works perfect, and it's locked. So it can't be opened unless the actuator opens it. So now we have to cut out this spot. Okay, so I'm going to mark here. I'm going to have to remove the door one more time, cut this out, and put it back in. Let's see if it fits in here. Look at that. She fits good. Wonder if I can actually put this piece. The door fits really well. This piece, this bracket, I think I can actually mount it up here and it'll actually finish up the top of the door. Door installed. I probably shouldn't have cut the plywood so high. Maybe I'll actually make a flap on the outside of the door or something just to keep it a little more sealed. But that is all installed. I drilled a hole through my little bracket at the top, so I'm going to put my cord through here. I'm going to mount the controller up here. It is really hot today, you know, for a good old Canadian boy. That, you know, you go from winter time where it's freezing to suddenly it's really, really hot out. It's absolutely crazy on the system. Okay, so now I got the controller mounted. I got the door installed. This thing works absolutely great. It was a little bit confusing with the setup, and that's my own fault really. I got by the startup wizard and then I had to do each one manually. The main things you got to do is set the time, set your time open, set your time closed, and calibrate the door. So right now the door opens. So if you press the button down, it'll go down. And if there's a chicken in it or something, it will just stop. You're not gonna jam a chicken or anything. I'm super happy with it, and thanks again to Chicken Guard for sending me out the door. This thing is gonna make it a whole lot easier. You know what, it's hard to make money with chickens if your chickens are dead, so it's really important that you keep them safe, and this door is gonna help me a lot, and it's gonna save me a lot of time because I'm not gonna have to come in and out in morning and night. So that's about enough for today, and you guys have a good one.